Hello and welcome to another episode of the Human Body Hierarchy of Nutrition. I really like that name. In today's episode, we are going to kind of talk through the fullness of the first half of this diet. Okay, so the first half and really culminating kind of the base and the bedrock of what we teach on nutrition and what we think is most important for human beings to be eating. So it started with meat, right? It started with obviously only meat, but as we continue to add things in, meat is still the foundation. Okay, animal foods are still the foundation, and we are getting the most practice at this because it's the most important thing, and no matter what else we add, it is still the thing that we need to nail, and if we nail it, honestly, the rest of the stuff becomes a lot easier. So as we have progressed this week, we went from the meat only into what really becomes a little bit, it's just loosening the reins on what we can do with meat. It opens up our possibilities with meat. Instead of when we're eating only meat, we got to really focus on the high-fat meats. When we add in our other fat sources, it loosens up what we're able to do with our animal foods. We can eat leaner animal foods. Again, broadens our options, really, and get the other fat sources to keep things balanced and be on the right track, okay? So this coming week it's like the full spectrum of what we would teach for a ketogenic diet, for even just calling it a low carbohydrate diet. A diet where you're still eating high fat, moderate protein, low in carbohydrates, okay? Most of us, unless you go crazy, are still going to be eating or are still going to be metabolically in this ketogenic state, still producing ketones. And I would say it's, with the stuff we're introducing this week, it's very difficult to go off the rails with it, right? So essentially what we're doing is we're saying, hey, everything that we would put under this umbrella of, hey, these are foods that are good and safe to eat essentially liberally in these categories. I'm going to put one little asterisk on liberally, and I'll come back to that. But if you're keeping the what, okay, the what you're eating, not thinking about first how much, okay, but the what, right? Eating meat, eating fatty fruits, and then eating of everything that we're kind of opening up for this week. If you are keeping the what to these categories, they're really like safeguards, right? So could you pop a blueberry and be fine? Of course, and still be in a state of ketosis, and your total carbohydrate consumption is low enough to keep you there. Yes, of course. Could you take a bite of bread or a kernel of corn? Sure, of course, right? It's about the volume and the accumulation of carbohydrate throughout your day, okay, that matters significantly more. But those things I just named, they're extremely difficult to kind of keep under control, okay, both because of their carbohydrate density and like behaviorally, we start to get into foods that, man, it's really easy to eat a ton of, okay? With all of these foods that are included in the diet this week, it's like you can really eat pretty liberally with all of them, okay? So The one caveat is, because we are saying this is the kind of full scope of what a ketogenic or even just call it a low carbohydrate diet, okay? What the full scope of that looks like. The one pitfall that I would say don't do this liberally would be doing the things that are just seeking to make things sweeter and more palatable. Okay? So I can tell you that I'm going to be enjoying some of these. I'm going to be enjoying some of these. I'm going to be enjoying some of this stuff, right? But there's a bit of a trap to kind of figure out, hey, how can I, put stevia in my, coconut butter and make it, this most delicious thing ever, okay? Do you have some options now to create something that is a lot more palatable and is extremely more enjoyable? Yes, absolutely. Okay. But hopefully the past 2 weeks have taught you that you can eat for utility, and you can enjoy things and not require them to be the sweetest thing you can find, right? So let's speak specifically to those sweeteners, all right? Here's the top two, okay? Stevia and monk fruit are probably the top two choices for 0-calorie real food sweeteners, okay? That would be the recommendation for the best option for consuming any product that is sweetened, okay? So there's other ingredients like, so there's kind of a big category that is, categorically it is what's called sugar alcohols. Alex can talk about the difference between those things, but that's stuff like xylitol and erythritol. Allulose, I'm only mentioning this because somebody asked a question about it. Allulose is a similar one. I don't know if that's in sugar alcohol. Alex can probably do a video on that and go over some of those differences. But stevia and monk fruit, those are the top two. Don't go crazy with the other stuff, right? Don't go crazy making freaking keto baked goods and all of this kind of stuff, like just to scrape by. Continue with what you're doing. Now just kind of opened it up a little bit, all right? So the full rundown here. Brassica vegetables. If you don't know what that is, look it up. That's your cauliflower and broccoli and cabbage, that whole family of things, plus other leafy greens, right? So kale is in there, but then also any kind of lettuce and spinach and all that stuff, good to go. Cucumbers, tomatoes, bell peppers, okay? All that stuff, good to go. Spices, herbs, all that stuff's great. The ruling on the carrots, okay? Carrots are a root vegetable, okay? Different categorically from all these other things. Much higher in carbohydrate. So those are going to be in the week with roots, tubers, and squashes, all right? That's week 5. Other than that, I was going to show you basically a little demonstration here about what I mean by eating liberally. So I punched in a little calculator here. You didn't think I was actually going to eat that tomato, did you? Jeepers, trying to kill me. I punched in a little calculator, and now that I'm trying to pull it up, it's not wanting to pull up. But anyway, I punched in like what my normal day with some beef and eggs and all that kind of stuff. and then I put in like what would be just an absurd amount of like vegetables to have with one of those meals. Okay, so it was like I was thinking make a salad with like 3 cups of spinach and like 3 stalks of broccoli, a couple tomatoes, a full pepper, a full cucumber, right? And I, adding all this stuff up, and it's like the total carbohydrate content was like 30 grams. Okay, so this is what I mean by you can eat super liberally of this stuff, and quantitatively, it's not really going to add to much. So, enjoy some vegetables, enjoy some seasonings, some spices, some herbs. This is really a week where it's not going to change a ton from the macronutrient sense, but we're really opening up a lot of very enjoyable things for people. I've already heard people talking about making cauliflower crust pizza and enjoying drinks. I'm gonna get my friggin' flavored element ready for the morning here right now. Yeah, that is the goal for the week. Let us know if you got any questions. Enjoy.